All-Star Weekend has lost a lot of luster over the last couple of years.
That's
Saturday
just a way
night
of saying we all got old.
and Sunday. And Sunday. All-Star Saturday night and Sunday, not the same. Even the rookie game on Friday night was fun in the beginning, where you would get guys that battling. What was Deion Waiters and who was it Deion Waiters was going up against head-to-head in that rookie game, where they were going back and forth, just drilling threes against each other. You remember Deion Waiters and that rookie game?
I remember the game. I can't remember who it was against, though.
Yeah, so you had some really good moments where that happened, and we've seen it. Now we don't get a lot of memorable things, even on Saturday night, where the dunk contest, the three-point contest, has always been very, very interesting and creative with how they did things. Now they had the skills competition the last couple of years. That hasn't been fun. They've tried horse, and that didn't work.
That's something they should.
But it didn't work.
If you want my old man take on All-Star, it's just that, just like everything else in the NBA, it seems to be becoming less and less about basketball.
By the way, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Deion Waiters. That's who it was.
Okay. There you go. It's more and more about just nonsense. Like, perfect example was today. Adam Silver was speaking at an event at All-Star Weekend.
The AI nonsense?
With Victor Wembanyama. And their advertising is like NBAI for League Pass. And the pitch was, you can turn it into movie mode. And then essentially, if you go and look it up on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, it looks like a comic book come to life of basketball. And Dan Devine at Yahoo, great writer, podcaster covering the NBA, pointed out, he goes, people have just been begging for working NBA League Pass and no blackouts in their market so they can watch the games. And they're sitting here like, hey, you can turn it into a Marvel movie. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Like, I just want basketball. Give me basketball.
And how about you focus on League Pass that fucking works, huh? I don't know. Focus on stuff that matters.
Actually, this part I'd say I'm minimally excited about, but they're using like glass LED courts for All-Star Weekend, which is like, hoo-hoo, bells and whistles, cool. And like, that'll look cool, I'm sure. But also, why am I supposed to care about that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, I don't know. All right, some stuff that when we did like it, I wanted to ask you guys.
I was going to say, we thought we were going to lead the show with All-Star stuff, and then we spent 45 minutes bashing the Bucks. So now we're going to have to like throw all of this in.
I don't know if we're welcome in the city of Milwaukee.
No, or Denver.
Well, Denver, definitely not. But I can take a victory lap on that one, but I won't.
The longer I associate myself with Kyle, the more cities I'm not allowed to travel to.
All right. Okay.
You chose to come here, buddy. You knew what you were getting into. Denver is definitely going to be
sketchy the next time we go to. Definitely, 100%.
Building a culture. Some memorable things that happened, just starting with All-Star Saturday night. What are some of the more memorable, Derek, things that you can remember? I was telling you guys beforehand, the Vince Carter dunk contest, Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, I mean, that's for everybody.
Steve Francis. That was my favorite. That was clearly my favorite. The performance that he had, I don't think anybody. There's been some really good ones, even in the 2000s. That was the one that stands out for me, and I don't know that one will ever be surpassed.
Also, that one just had so many great names. Like T-Mac was in that dunk contest. Even Francis. Larry Hughes was in that dunk contest. Steve Francis. So there was a local tie in Larry.
That's like that meme of the three dragons, or it's like the two fierce ones and the one with the tongue sticking out.
Larry could get up. He could definitely dunk. But that was a great dunk contest. Most of mine go back to like locals, like Kyle Korver as a rookie in a 3-point contest. That was a great moment. Iguodala's dunk contest, even though it got a little bit ruined at the end because
he got robbed,
completely robbed. But just seeing like AI throw it off the backboard and the other AI, Iguodala, come under the backboard and throw it down.
Who
like,
never makes a perfect pass.
Never get over Nate Robinson winning that dunk contest.
And how many attempts did he have? Like 9?
Way more than that.
I did
double digits?
I think it was close to 20.
I did like a fake oral history on that dunk contest. That is the most infuriating thing. I was at a tournament in Florida, actually. I was watching it with a bunch of my buddies, my teammates, in a hotel room, and we were all just like, how many times can he miss? How is this allowed? And then he wins.
It should be a dunk that you can actually do reliably, not just a dunk you can do 5% of the time. I agree with that. He was hosed, but I still love the moment. I still love seeing the NBA players in attendance lose their mind when he pulled it off. I love the coming out party for Iguodala. I choose to appreciate the good portions of that moment, so that one stands out for me.
Well, and
too.
that's what made the Levine-Gordon dunk contest so memorable, right? Is not only were those dunks incredible, those are first-time, executed perfectly performances, right? Like you didn't go through 2.5 minutes of watching the 5'8" guy fail over and over again before we had to give him his participation trophy.
I give him a lot of credit for being able to dunk at 5'8". You just don't get 20 extra attempts.
As someone who can no longer dunk at about 6'3", yeah, that's I give him a little bit of credit for that.
You won it 3 different times.
Again, let's not go there. It just makes me even more mad. The things that jump out for me. So another Sixers-related one. The 0-1 All-Star game that was Iverson's MVP year where he also won All-Star MVP. That was one of the rare intersections of you have all the talent on the floor, and it was also a competitive game down the stretch. And it's so funny. You and I think, Devon, were talking about this recently. It's so funny to go back and look at it because the West is like Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. And it was like Iverson, Hall of Famer, Mutombo. And then it's like, who was it? Stephon Marbury was the guy who got real hot in the fourth quarter, and they made that big run. They're down by, I don't know, 15, 18 points, something like that. And Starbury was the guy who basically carried them for a good portion of that. So it was just a weird, random one. And also, of course, Iverson was really good. They did some of the stuff that Larry Brown did with the Sixers that year, which is play small and press and do all that. And that was the genesis of the Mutombo trade. That was the big rumor that came out of that weekend, which I still deep in my soul feel they were better with Ratliff, like the team identity. Now,
100%.
Do they still lose to the Lakers? Probably. Do they even make it out of the East?
Maybe. Maybe not.
We don't know because Mutombo was good in the East playoffs, certainly. But I loved watching the pre-Mutombo version of that team. Just felt like they also had some secondary creation from Tony Kukoc that gave away. That
people forget was on the team and was in that deal. Yes.
Who Larry Brown could not stand. But in the playoffs, when you're relying on, Eric Snow, Aaron McKee was hurt, George Lynch was out, Jermaine Jones gets thrust into a bigger role.
I used to love the Jermaine Jones three-pointer. It was a moonball.
It was
he got
always
so much arc
would have
on
helped.
that.
Is all I'm saying.
It was always like the first shot of the game, the Jermaine Jones corner 3. It was the first shot of the game as a starter. And
so there was that one. And then when they went to the Elam ending, which I'm not a Elam ending guy for the All-Star game.
I'm not the biggest fan of it.
What I will say is, and this is when Nick Nurse, I believe, was coaching the All-Star team, when it was a close game and it was Joel and I think Lowry and I can't remember who else on the team, but it was a bunch of all-NBA, all-star guys. And Joel at that point was not in the perennial MVP discussion. And to see them every time down the floor go, you know what our best plan is here? Give the big fella the ball. That was as someone who had, covered the process and all the drafts and whatever, to have that moment in the All-Star game where it was a realization he's one of those dudes. He's somebody that they all deferred to when it mattered. I thought that was pretty cool. And so you don't get a lot of those moments in the games, but I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
And then you add to the arrival of Embiid with that. And once they started drafting, they had captains and you had to pick the players. There was no East-West. Typically go first or second. And that just told you right there what they thought about him, how they felt about him, the respect that he had amongst his peers. That was it. A lot of people bringing up the dunk contest with Jason Richardson here in Philly. I think Desmond Mason was also a really good one. That was a great dunk contest with Desmond Mason. Someone brought up JaVale McGee, underrated dunk where he threw it off of the two backboards, right? He had 2 backboards, 3 backboards up, but he caught the basketballs off of and dunked them in the same underrated dunk for JaVale McGee. Sixers legend, as it was said from Dan Murphy. In that one, Rich P is the one who brought up the JaVale McGee dunk contest.
They acquired him in a trade, and he's like, I can be here and be a mentor. And a day later, he was gone. They're like, no, hell no. We don't need you mentoring these young guys. Get out of here.
Yeah. Another underrated dunk that I love, the Gerald Green blowing out the candle on the cupcake on the rim. Yeah. And it's one of those in real time.
Hands.
In real time was that's kind of corny, whatever. And then you see the slow motion, and his head is at the rim and he just goes and blows the candle out and then dunks it like that. That's one that it's better for the replays and social media, but I really appreciate that one.
All right, for the dunk contest this weekend, Mac McClung is back. He's no longer a member of the Sixers organization, but he is back. The participants this year, Mac McClung, Jaylen Brown is in the dunk contest this year, where you rarely get an opportunity to see star players, all-star players in it. So he's in it. Jaime Jaquez from the Miami Heat, rookie, he's in it. And Obi Toppin's younger brother, I forget his name off the top of my now. I have to look. Jacob Toppin is in it. So throw it out there. You guys have a winner, favorite for you?
Oh, I don't know about a winner. So much of it comes down to creativity that you don't really see these guys try to. I mean, Mac was great last year, so go Mac.
Here's what I would say, and I might get excommunicated from Philadelphia for saying this.
I'm most interested in seeing what Jaylen does, just because stars don't do it.
I hope Jaylen Brown does well, because if he doesn't, no significant player will ever step into the dunk contest again.
Fair.
Like there's no, I don't care if he wins. I just want him to not get shit for performing in it, because one of the great shames in recent NBA history is that we never saw young or peak LeBron in the dunk contest. Like part of the cool part of the 80s was, Jordan was the best player, or at least in the conversation early in his career before he was the undisputed best guy. And he's out there in the dunk contest, and we don't get anything close to that. Like, we can't even get Obi Toppin. We're getting younger brother Toppin.
He did one, right?
Obi Toppin won in 2022, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of hoping that Jaylen Brown, even if he doesn't win, is at least, gets to the final stages of it and gives some incentive for, like, look, you guys are all freak athletes. There's no real pressure in a dunk contest. There's like, if you lose a dunk contest, who cares?
Yeah.
So that's my only rooting interest, is what I'd say.
I'm putting my money on Jaime Jaquez. I'm going Jaime in this one. Just sneak in there and take it. 3-point contest: Dame Lillard, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Lauri Markkanen, Malik Beasley, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, Karl Anthony Towns.
Talking about the 3-point contest?
3-point contest, yeah. Lillard, Brunson, Halliburton, Markkanen, Beasley, Mitchell, Trae Young, Towns.
So I would say
I would cross Halliburton off the list, just because I'm not sure he's going to get through all the racks. He has a slow release. I'm a little worried about that.
I think my money would be on Mitchell.
I agree.
I think it would be on brand for Dame to stink it up for a month and a half and win the 3-point contest.
He's got an effortless shot in a situation like that, sure. I'd love to see a big man. Like, give me Lowry or Towns. I like it when big men go in and win those things. So I'm going to go with Lowry.
Okay. I'm going with Trae Young.
All right.
Feel snubbed with all the stuff that's going on, and I'm going with Trae Young. All right. We don't care about. Do you care about the skills competition?
Tyrese is in it. Of course we got to care about the
Tyrese
skills
is going to win.
There
you go. We're rooting for Tyrese.
Oh, wait. It's a team? What?
It's a team thing.
What the fuck?
Remember when we talk about it and I say, who's he with? He's with Trae Young, and who's the other one?
What is the point of a team
Scotty
skills
Barnes?
challenge? Like, Scotty Barnes and Trae Young is Tyrese's team. Got Banchero, Edwards, and Wemby. And then you have a Pacers team that's Halliburton, Ben Mathurin, and Miles Turner. I mean, the Sixers have a good chance to win that, honestly.
Yeah, I like Maxey's team in that one.
I would not bet on the Pacers.
No.
The other two, I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I could see that.
We all silly like the mayor.